Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to talk more new comic book day stuff, and today it's now time to talk about Excalibur number 3, written by Tini Howard. And this book is alright. I mean, it's called Three Covenants, and we got two main stories going on here, which is that Richter, one of the new mutants, who's going to be put on this team, is having problems controlling his powers. Basically, anytime he touches the ground, everything turns into a great big quake. We also hear that people that are entering the gates of Krakoa are tended to taking off all their clothes and running into it, like with reckless abandon. Okay, sure. Why? I do like that there's this line from somebody that's clearly from America. They can do whatever they want once they get to Krakoa, but in America, we keep our clothes on in public. Really? Do we? So Richter, he's literally just trying to cover his head and keep the roof from caving in on him while he goes there. So it's a nice little introduction. The white page in this is pretty stupid. It's just text messages to mutantsunmuted.com/q/Krakoa, where it reads like Craigslist or something like that. Just like going to Krakoa this weekend via Atlanta Gate, meetup details. 28 male looking for another P for my pod. Island related relationship advice needed. Yes, another of these posts. But they do talk about a couple of things, which is power amplification dulling on the island. And it's like Richter must have sent this message saying, hey, anyone had any problems with controlling their powers, they got better when they went to the island? Or is the opposite more likely? If I'm having trouble maintaining control of my mutation, would going to Krakoa help to make it better or worse? And that's just kind of what Richter's going through right now. The rest of the book is Morgan Le Fay trying to understand why the Krakoan flowers are still growing in her scrying pool. And she reaches out to her little friend over there, where's her name? Mariana Stern. And basically, things aren't going well. As we saw in the last issue, Apocalypse just kind of ran all over them. But Shogo, if anybody was wondering what the dragon was, yes, like I said, Shogo was turned into a dragon by going to Otherworld, making him, because he's a mortal child, very powerful. We get more of Gambit trying to tell them, like, look, we left Rogue behind. We need to get this done quick because I know for a fact one of you wouldn't leave your bow with him. Now, he does have a point, but it's getting a little tiresome because they just got there. And while I love Gambit, they're writing him to be, now he's just like, we gotta, like, yeah, we get it, we need to get things done. And I just don't, Betsy and, Jubilee's concerned about Shogo, but Betsy's just kind of, I don't know, nonplussed about everything. Just getting Brian back. So everybody's got their priorities, like, where they're not a team, they're not a unit. They're just a bunch of people trying to, like, get through this situation. So Jubilee was along for the ride. Shogo didn't mean to come with. He's a dragon now, and she's trying to protect her baby that doesn't really need protection right now. In fact, he's probably the most powerful person right there right now. And like I said, Betsy's all consumed about getting Brian back, so that let's go charging into, where Morgan Le Fay has him. And Gambit just wants to get the hell out of there to get back to Rogue. So no cohesive team here. The only person who's really getting anything done, I think, really is Apocalypse. He's the one that's back there working on stuff that, whether it's to his own ends or anybody else's or not, it's still working. So they go in there, they fly around, and she reaches out and she knows that Brian is there. Calling, but he's all consumed. And I mean, it's your typical kind of story where they go in too quick. They can just get in and get out, and then they end up having to run for their lives and regroup to figure out how to do it, better next time. But I don't think that they can really stick around here for right now. I think they do need to get back to our plane pretty soon and really figure out what to do from there. Um, Mostly because you don't want that baby to be a dragon for that long. So yeah, they get in there and they fight, and it turns into what you'd expect. You know, they get quickly overwhelmed, and then Brian shows up, and he's calling her Slay the Pretender, and he's killing people that it looks like he kills a guy that gets in the way of getting to her. And it's not until she tells him that Jamie Braddock is back that he starts to go back to his old self. But of course, before we can get any of that resolved, before we can see if that really did anything, Shogo comes and blasts Dragonfire, giving Betsy a chance to escape with Gambit and Jubilee. So yeah, they're stretching it out. And Morgan Le Fay basically tells her, look, there's nothing left in him to save. Take the mantle, go out of here. Long may you reign. Peace out. Just don't ever come back here. Leave my kingdom. That kind of thing. We do get this thing from MI13, an intelligence partner, is basically saying keep an eye on anybody that was part of Excalibur. Brian, Elizabeth, Jamie, Megan, Morgan Le Fay, Kitty Pryde, Courtney Ross, Rachel Summers, Kurt Wagner, basically the entire Excalibur team from before are, now that they are back with the lighthouse and everything, they're assuming that Excalibur is back and to keep an eye on these people, even though Rachel's not there, Kurt's not there, Kitty's not there. I don't even know who Courtney Ross is. and But the rest of them, the gang, whatever. Meanwhile, Apocalypse is trying to use magic, these magic stones that the humans have. They're not working to keep the gates open. They're just throwing things away. And he needs somebody who's a master of stone to help him figure this problem out. So he goes, because, this is convenient for the story, he goes back to where Richter is, just walks through. Everybody's like, oh my god, get out of the way. Hey, get these kids out of here, He's just nonplussed about it. I'm saying nonplussed a lot. Why? But he talks Richter into coming with him. Hey man, we're going to get this all figured out, but what we need to do is we're gonna help figure out what my problem is. And then there's this guy saying, hey, you're not Captain Britain. And yeah, he's a little paler. Who's looking for him? And there's this guy named Pete Wisdom, agent of MI13 Division Black Air, British Secret Intelligence. The Queen needs her captain. So I'm assuming, and because like I said, even my knowledge of Excalibur's original stories is kind of limited to the characters and Otherworld, knowing that that's where they did a lot of their adventuring. So I'm assuming that this guy is there to bring in the team to the Queen and country and all that, not knowing any of what's going on at all. And so he doesn't see. I don't think he saw Apocalypse standing behind him though in that picture. This guy's we need to talk. And I don't know, man. He turn around, man. I mean, I don't know if Apocalypse is gonna just kill him outright or what. I mean, it can't, right? Yeah, the no killing humans rule. So, but I would like to see that guy's face when he turns around facing Apocalypse. And so hopefully this introduction of this character or this guy in the story right now will lead to having our characters come back to regroup. Because I don't think after turning tail and running, Gambit's going to allow them to stay any longer in Avalon without going back and checking in on Rogue and Apocalypse. So I think for now, the story is going to have to wait about what's going on in Avalon. And I think they're going to have to face what's happening outside more and what Apocalypse is doing. But another good issue. It wasn't the best. It was better than X-Men 3. Not quite as good as Marauders 3. But pretty good. And like I said, as long as we can start getting a team together. Because really, what book has a team? Marauders has a team, but we haven't really seen them much. The first book was set up The second one, we kind of had something going on there, but it was mostly about, the White Queen and the Black King. And the third issue is all about the Black King. So, I mean, even though there's a team, we haven't really seen them do anything since issue 1. X-Men, it's people from just kind of randomly put. Excalibur, there's a bunch of people together, but they don't feel like a team. New Mutants, they're a team. They're at least the same group of people that they've always been hanging out. Great, good, grand. Fallen Angels has got 3 characters. Mini team, fine. They've just gotten started. And X-Force, again, they haven't come together as a team at all either. So we're all kind of just, it feels all just kind of a little too floundering. Like all these characters, none of them are just a cohesive unit. And maybe again, like it's asking too much, only 3 issues in, but it just kind of feels like where's, where are the plans for Dawn of X headed? To where are we going to see actual teams besides the New Mutants and Fallen Angels? I don't, it says that these certain people are supposed to be in these books, but man, maybe we're going to have to wait till 20 issues in before things are really going. And really, I think a lot of people are going to probably drop off, financially, saying, I don't want to wait any longer for these books to, really come together. I think Excalibur is going to come together pretty quick soon after this. Marauders, as long as they can get back on track after an issue like 4. X-Men needs to find a direction and pick one. So anyway, but this was an alright issue. So if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. You can find me on Twitter at reviews_gun. So if you want to donate to the channel, please go to paypal.me/smirkinggunreviews. Otherwise, another comic book review. Have a great night. See you then. Bye.